Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. Today, we are starting the final trial of the main game. But, it's like it's not the longest part in the game, but it's the longest trial. There's three parts of this trial, but let us begin. Still have even a war game after this because of the DLC. May 19th, 8:50 a.m., High Court of Wright. God damn it. Hi, guys. Yeah. May 19th, 9:28. 9:28 what? I'm going to assume AM. High Court of Wright, accused lobby. It's complete chaos outside. Let's just say the Defiant Dragon supporters demonstrating for Dirk's freedom have taken a very special interest in the outcome of today's trial. They look about ready to string us up if we lose. The trials here are pretty much like the ones back home, but with one major difference. The divination seance, also the fact that they want us to be murdered. The victim's final memories will become a matter for deliberation. I've heard about that. But they haven't stopped you from winning your cases here in Wright. True, but it wasn't easy. Still, the memories of the dead are simply another piece of evidence. There's always a way to deal with them if your client is truly innocent. Well, I know Dirk is innocent, but... I have one more big secret. Apollo, in court tomorrow. You may find yourself faced with a truth that is difficult to accept. But I know you, and I know you can handle the truth, no matter what it turns out to be. I know that because I believe in you. You're my son, after all. Dirk, what is that secret you're keeping? Hey, AJ! Here you go, just like I promised. Founder's order added to the court record. The founder's form has appeared from within. It seems only the queen knows the founder's real name. Thanks, Stats. Wait, weren't you arrested by the police yesterday? Yep, and I spent the night in the slammer. I had a fine meal, a shower, even a bed. What more could I ask for? That actually sounds way better than where we're staying. Just remember, AJ, if Dirk's found guilty today, well, I'll probably be found guilty under the Defense Culpability Act, too. Yeah, now you just said something to that effect. Now which Quran wants to take advantage of today to crush our revolution once and for all? The fate of the revolution. And every Chinese person rests on this trial. We're counting on you, AJ. We'll be fine. I'm going to win this one. You'll see. The trial will begin shortly, Apollo. Let's make our way into the courtroom. Right. May 19th, High Court of Wright. Court is now in session. All rise. Phoenix is our co-counsel now, for the first time since Case 1 of Apollo Justice. Let the trial of Dick Sodmody begin. The defense is ready, Your Honor. God fucking damn it. The prosecution is ready, Your Majesty. So it's really come down to this. Well, don't expect me to hold anything back, Nayuta. This trial will examine both the murder of Justice Minister Inga Kirkul Kurain and the assassination of the former Queen Amara Segata Kurain. First, I believe we should address the murder of Minister Inga. Would that be acceptable, Prosecutor Sadmadi? Prosecutor Sadmadi? Yes, of course. Please proceed. What's with him? How very unlike you, Prosecutor. Does your mind elsewhere this day? Not at all, Your Majesty. Are you really going to be able to go through with this, Nayuta? Well, Prosecutor Sadmadi, I would be remiss if I failed to voice a concern of mine. I have heard mention that you are a son to the accused, Sadmadi. You have heard true. Does that fact pose some sort of a problem, Your Majesty? A father being prosecuted by his own son. Could one possibly deliberate such a case without having personal feelings intervene? Yes, without question. Can he really handle this? Even if it is Prosecutor Sadmadi going against his own father, it's just... how can the son of a criminal even be a prosecutor in the first place? Dirk? Fellow citizens, you would do well not to underestimate my son. He is not one to allow personal feelings to interfere with the execution of his duty. Isn't that right, Nayuta? I will not stop until my work here is done. See? So all you doubters just sit back down before you trip over your own stupidity. Ha 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 ha! The accused will not take the stand without the first being summoned. In any case, if Prosecutor Sadmadi has no issue with this arrangement, then let us commence the deliberations.
Objection!
Hello? One moment, if you would. Your Eminence! Your Eminence, what brings you here? Your Majesty? It would appear that Prosecutor Sadmadi does indeed have some reservations. No, that's not true. Did you truly believe you could deceive me, Nayuta Sadmadi? One should hold no reservations if one is to stand on these hallowed funerary grounds. I have none, Your Eminence. No, it is clear we cannot leave this matter to you. We shall handle the prosecution of enemy of the Crown, Dirk Sadmadi, personally. But remain by our side and bear witness to how a true prosecutor enforces the law. Excuse me, but is the Queen going to prosecute this case? Is that, kosher? There is no need for concern. Before we were crowned queen, we served as a prosecutor. Really? As a foreigner, your ignorance could be excused, but know this. The prosecutor in charge of the Queen Amara assassination case 23 years ago was none other than Her Eminence, Queen Garan Sigata Kurain. First Your Majesty, and now this. Why doesn't anyone ever tell me these things? I had heard she'd served as the Minister of Justice, but she was also a prosecutor? I'm guessing she probably moved up the ladder from prosecutor to Justice Minister. We prosecuted that case 23 years ago, but no verdict was ever rendered. We had one guilty verdict in every case until then, for no lawyer could stand up to us. I'm at a loss for words. To think I would once more bear witness to Her Eminence at work in the Hall of Justice. Our first trial in 23 years. No quarter shall be given to criminals. We shall prosecute them with all our might. That's not how physics work, but okay. Oh! What a magnificent sight! The Queen's attire from her prosecutor days. I think we would get to see it once more. What the fuck? That's Queen Garon. Talk about an extreme makeover. It's all coming back now. The feel of my blood pumping through my veins. Woe to you, O enemies of crime, for I shall personally slice, dice, and grind you up into hog feed. I don't suppose I can ask her to roll back to her polite pre-makeover personality? Know this, lawyer. Yes? Now that I stand as prosecutor, consider your defense's bench a headman's scaffold. If you wish to leave any last words, I advise you to start thinking of them now. While you still have a head with which to think, that is. Meep. She's dead serious. Now it is time for the divination seance. Rafa, come forth. Hi, Rafa. Your benevolence. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Your benevolence. I understand it may be difficult for you, but may we proceed with the divination seance? Yes, let us proceed. Forgive me for asking, but are you feeling physically unwell? If so, I would advise you to avoid any undue exertion. Your benevolence? What's wrong? It's like her mind's anywhere but here. A lot's happened since yesterday. On top of the murder of her beloved father, she found out that he'd been planning a coup. And today she'll have to experience his death through his own eyes. Yeah, that would be enough to shake anyone up. Still, it seems like she's worse off today than she was yesterday. Yeah, I don't remember her being this depressed. We must speak with our child. It is a mother's duty to discipline her child, after all. Now, if you would excuse us. Discipline? Coming from her, I don't like the sound of that at all. Wait. Braun didn't do something to her, did she? Your Eminence, about today's divination seance. As I understand it, the prosecution is yet to review its contents. Is this deviation from protocol part of your plan? Prosecutor Sadmadi, would you care to explain your actions? Your Eminence, the accused was caught at the scene of the crime. Therefore, I deemed no sounds would be necessary for such a clear-cut case. You and your bleeding heart. You seek to spare Ray for the trauma of witnessing her father's death. Is that why you have done this? Not at all. You were concerned for me, Prosecutor Sadmadi? That's oddly compassionate of him, all things considered. Your Eminence, your Majesty, regardless of what is best for her benevolence, this case is blessed with a bounty of incontrovertible evidence. So I believed we can reach a swift verdict without devoting precious time to a seance. You have a point. Personally, I would like to spare her benevolence any undue misery. Experiencing the murder of a loved one is a burden no one should have to bear.
Prosecutor Satmati, Your Majesty, can this trial truly proceed without a divination seance?
I can't blame her for not wanting to experience her father's murder firsthand. Your Eminence, what are your feelings on the matter? Shall we have her benevolence return home for some much-needed rest?
We shall not. You fools spoil her with your feckless words of compassion. Listen well, Rafa. You have spoken time and time again about how grown up you are now. Yes, but... So, let us see if the royal priestess has truly come into her own. Are you prepared to fulfill your duty and perform the divination seance as you should? Yes. That's better. See? Problem solved.
Poor Rifa. Is this really a good idea? I guess we'll see.
Very well. Let us begin the divination seance. Nina, my robe. Oh!
Looks like Nana's still missing. It's been a whole day already.
Barbed head.
Yes?
You remove my robe.
What? Why me? Don't keep him benevolence waiting now, Mr. Wright. Can't you see she's ready to begin? Great. I've been reduced to royal robe remover. It's like she's grooming Mr. Wright to be Nana's replacement. I like their little relationship. Very well, Your Benevolence. Please start when you are ready.
Come, Rafa. You know what must be done. There is no turning back now. I know.
The final memories of the deceased. This should be interesting.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Oh. Guess we're watching this again. I'm gonna let this play out. Hold on, I'll be right back. I like the I do like the animation of the song. And this isn't even gonna be the last time we see it in this case. Hmm?
I, 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 uh,
Your benevolence! What's wrong? I don't think she can answer, sir. There's a lot of people on the screen. This is unacceptable. Bailiff, take a benevolence to the first aid station at once. This is not good. Your Eminence, do you have any idea why her benevolence collapsed so suddenly?
It seems she was not ready for what the deceased was to reveal. It overwhelmed her. Her inexperience and immaturity left her ill-prepared to face her father's death. And she said she could go through with it. How very disappointing.
I know someone who's not winning Mother of the Year award. Ever. I mean, of course Rafe is going to be overwhelmed. She's still just a child.
It seems we have no choice but to move on to witness testimony. Your Majesty.
Oh, yes. Let us proceed. Bailiff, summon the first witness, if you would. Hi, Derek. Is this not the accused?
It is indeed. I thought I would give him the opportunity to plead his case. For true justice is more than a unilateral presentation of the facts by the prosecution.
That seems uncharacteristically fair of her.
However, should the accused fail to produce convincing testimony, he, along with his cabal of traitorous lawyers, shall immediately be found guilty.
That's how this works.
And their heads will roll from their shoulders.
You're trying to cause an international incident? What? I should have known there was a catch. Your court, your rules. Same as it always was, I see, Garon. Now then, Mr. Dirksaldmody, if you could enlighten us as to what happened. Well, I would, if I could. Witness testimony. Dirk explains himself. I was struck by sudden dizziness the moment I entered the tomb. The next thing I knew, I was standing there with a bloody knife in my hand. And lying right in front of me was Inga, dead as a doornail. I have no recollection of what happened in the interim. But I didn't kill him. At least, I don't think I did. It'd go against everything I believe in. That didn't explain squat.
For the record, let it be known that the accused's fingerprints were all over the murder weapon. And since he was caught in the act, there was no chance for a third party to tamper with it.
Well, that certainly seems to point the finger at you, Mr. Swordmarty. Even as a lawyer, I have to agree with you there, Your Majesty. Seriously, Dirk, this is no laughing matter.
This is exactly what Goran wanted. To have Dirk try to plead his case, only to fail miserably.
How low can she go?
Prosecutor, behold this most unpleasant of spectacles, and let it be etched into your soul. See how instead of accepting the inevitable, those fish-brained lawyers flounder and flop themselves straight into the abyss of despair. Yes, Your Eminence. Show me the way.
Now then, would the defense please begin their cross-examination?
No. Dirk explains himself.
I was struck by a sudden dizziness the moment I entered the tomb.
Hold it!
You were struck by a sudden dizziness? Was it because of his illness? Is that something that has ever happened to you before? Can't say that it has. Maybe age is catching up with me. I'm no spring chicken after all. That's not the issue here.
A most cunning excuse. One befitting an insidious insurgent.
Oh,
A killer who does not recall his crime. How very convenient. Next I imagine you would plead insanity. You aim to seek a lesser sentence through excuses and subterfuge, do you not?
don't make me laugh, your malevolence.
Yeah. How dare you?
I'm merely stating my innocence. I have no intention of offering excuses. It's your baseless speculation I would decry as foolish. You deceitful witch.
Is it your wish that I should claim your head right now, in this very hall?
Well, that would certainly speed things along. Ha!
Hold it!
Dirk, why don't you let me handle it from here? I'm your lawyer. If there's anything you need to say, you can say it through me, okay? Anything to stop you from needling the queen.
Next time you have an objection, you'd better have some proof to go with it, Dirk.
The accused will continue with what he does recall of the crime. The next thing I knew, I was standing there with a bloody knife in my hand.
Hold it!
Do you recall anyone putting the knife in your hand, Dirk?
Where is his autopsy report? Stab wound. Okay, where is his body? None of this is gonna work to our advantage yet. Definitely, yeah, it's gonna be one of the first few things. I would assume one of these three things.
Wish I could say I did, but I don't remember a thing from before I came to. You think there might have been a third party in the tomb, son? Yeah, because if you didn't do it, then the real killer must have been there with you.
Objection!
What the fuck? You called, Your Eminence!
Does she go anywhere without those goons?
Was there a third party in the tomb when you were securing it? No, Your Eminence, we searched high and low, but found no one of the sort. And there you have it. Oh, right. They did search the place. Furthermore, my guards had the entire tomb surrounded, so there was no way for anyone to escape. That's right. No one got in or out without our knowledge. Her Eminence's on-site directives were absolutely flawless.
Ugh.
Do you see now? The presence of a third party is beyond the realm of possibility. The tomb was, for all intents and purposes, completely sealed off from the rest of the world.
Call off your goon so I can get the frame rate back up.
What a waste of time! How can it be any more obvious? Dirk must be the killer.
Thanks for nothing, gallery guy. As if our graves weren't already deep enough.
Accused? What do you believe about the possible presence of a third party?
Well, based on the situation you presented, I'd say the chances are slim to none. Well, fuck. You didn't have to agree with her, Dirk.
Let the accused's statements be added to his testimony.
Very well, Mr. Sotmati, if you would. It's like the more we press, the thinner our case gets.
Well, let's keep pressing, and maybe we'll work out the wrinkles in it too.
The possibility of a third party being there in the tomb is probably non-existent.
Hold it!
We can't prove your innocence without at least a possibility of a third party was there. That a possibility of a third party was there. Find the possible in the impossible, son. That's just what a lawyer's got to do sometimes. Isn't that right? Right?
Who? Me? Yeah, you could say that. I've seen more than my fair share of trials like that. They'd start with no viable evidence, useful testimony, or any hope of winning. But through cold sweat, desperation, and a little luck, I always managed to pull them off.
Right. I can see we are kindred spirits, you and I. Ha 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 ha. Jeez, taking cases like that must shave years off your life.
If that were true, I'd be long dead.
Find the possible in the impossible. Can I prove that it was at least possible that there was a third party there? Dirk, what did you see at the scene of the crime? Let's see. I came to. And lying right in front of me was Inga, dead as a doornail.
Hold it!
You stated that he was as dead as a doornail. How can you be so sure? It's pretty easy to spot the difference between a soulless man and the soulless shell of a man. His complexion and the amount of blood at the scene made it obvious which it was.
Watch your words, or you shall join Minister Ingo much sooner than expected. You can bow your head before him and seek his forgiveness there in the Twilight Realm. If you still have a head to bow, that is.
You bloodthirsty spider. What happened to you? There was still a little love in your heart 23 years ago. You even used to think of me as a brother.
It seems you truly do have a death wish.
Is that really all you got? Dirk, I'm begging you. Enough of the lip, just deliver your testimony, please. Alright. I'll try, but I can't promise anything. I have no recollection of what happened in the interim.
Hold it!
A day's passed since the murder. Haven't you remembered anything in that time? My memory is a complete blank. It's as if that part of my brain has been scooped right out.
How very convenient. But even if you've no memory of the events, your guilt is without question. There is nothing more to debate.
You're forgetting one thing, Garon. I have no motive.
You lead a band of insurgents that seeks to overthrow the government. I would say that alone is motive enough to slay our kingdom's Minister of Justice.
I've declared countless times that I lead a bloodless revolution. I forbid violence and murder, even if some younger members may have a thirst for blood. A bloodless revolution? You wouldn't really have a motive in that case. Is that an important statement? That was an important statement. I'd like my client to add it to his testimony. Very well, then. The accused will please do as the defense has requested.
I don't have a motive for killing Inga. After all, me and my ilk seek a bloodless revolution.
Hold it!
A bloodless revolution. Could you be more specific?
I'm talking about dragging this pompous prosecutor here off her bloody throne. So go ahead, grow on and act all high and mighty now, because it's the last chance you'll get.
You still speak of rebellion despite the charges against you. You truly are a fool. I will prove your guilt soon enough, and display your head for all of Krain to see. People will forever speak of you, not as a revolutionary, but as the terrorist you are.
You're mistaken. You're mistaken, your maleficence. It will be you the people will speak of, as the tyrant who was overthrown by your own people.
I wonder if you will still be spewing such nonsense before the headman's axe.
I'm afraid I'll still be like this in the afterlife, despot.
I know that self-restraint is as foreign as apple pie to Dirk, but I'd really rather go home than to the Twilight Realm after this.
But I didn't kill him. At least I don't think I did. It'd go against everything I believe in.
Hold it!
Can you state that you didn't kill him more definitively?
How can I when I have no memory of what happened?
Well, can you at least state whether or not you are a murderer?
That I can do. I'm not a murderer, and I would never kill anyone no matter the circumstances.
Objection!
And do you have any evidence to support your claim that you did not kill the minister?
Evidence? No, can't say I do.
In that case, you will strike that statement, the statement I didn't kill him, from your testimony.
Wait, you can't just discard testimony like that. I mean, I'm the one cross-examining the defendant and all.
Hold your prattling tongue, foreign devil. I am the queen of this kingdom, and the queen is the law. As such, I need not follow the laws that are in place. I can make and break them at will.
Henceforth, the accused will refrain from stating I didn't kill him. What?
Sure, whatever. It's the garage show after all, same as always. Though I guess there's no evidence that proves I didn't kill him either.
Hold it!
Dirk, leave the evidence finding to me. Now please, will you stop agreeing to with everything the prosecution says?
Alright, I'll stick to the facts from now on. But remember, son, if you truly believe in me, you should be able to prove my innocence. I know you can do it.
He believes I'll prove him innocent. Even with all these inconvenient truths. Is that what he's saying?
I think Dirk might be onto something. Even the most disadvantageous facts may point the way to the truth. So don't ignore them. Think of them as food for thought.
Don't worry, I know. The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. I need to remember that, no matter how difficult the facts may be to deal with.
If only we could establish the possibility of a third party.
But does the possibility itself even exist?
We don't have a choice. Proving it exists is the only way to start a real dialogue here. I'm going to assume we have to present something here. Hi, Apollo, in your big-ass head. Is this Dirk's? Oh yeah, the bloodstain!
Objection!
I forgot about the bloodstain completely.
Sorry, it's been a while since I recorded this game, and especially since I recorded Apollo's first investigation.
Your Eminence, I'm afraid this trial will not go exactly as you anticipated, because I can show how there might have been a third party in the tomb.
Oh, how very fascinating. Go on, I do so love a good fairy tale.
We did a luminol test at the crime scene, and we found a bloodstain that didn't match the Justice Minister's blood. I will remind you that neither Dirk nor Miss Fey were injured during the incident. The thing is, this bloodstain we found had been wiped up by someone.
What's this? But who would have done such a thing?
That's the big question, isn't it? Who wiped up the blood and why? And thinking about it logically, it must be someone who wanted to conceal their presence at the scene of the crime.
Oh, and to whom do you suppose the bloodstain might belong?
The bloodstain belongs to... The bloodstain belongs to the real killer, of course. Whoever it was, they were probably shot while they were attacking Minister Inga. And since the bloodstain would give them away, they had to wipe it up. I say this because we know for a fact that the Justice Minister fired his gun in the tomb.
Objection!
You have the memory of a flea. There was nowhere for anyone to hide. This too is a known fact.
Objection!
But a bloodstain from a third party means there must have been someone hiding there.
Very well then, tell me this. Where was this third party hiding?
Oh,
The crime scene was thoroughly searched after it was discovered. So if there was a hiding place, it would have to be somewhere no one would dare look.
somewhere no one would dare look.
Let's have your answer, defense. No, where could a third party have hidden? Well, we're already on it.
Take that!
There's one place no one would search, not even the Queen's Royal Guard. And that would be... inside Queen Amara's sarcophagus. Even now it's locked up tight. No one would find you if you hid in there. I'm told that it's temperature controlled to preserve the mummy within. But if someone dressed warmly enough, they could withstand the cold for a short time.
This is sacrilege. Surely the perpetrator of such a foul deed would be cursed.
But that's just it. The killer knew everyone would be too scared to open the sarcophagus.
True. The guards were so scared of being cursed they wouldn't even touch it.
And when the coast was clear, the killer made a quick escape from within their frigid confines.
Well now, that does sound like a plausible method of evading capture.
The defense requests a DNA test on the bloodstain. And then we'll see just who the real killer is.
Such insolence!
What the fuck? That's not an objection.
Bow your head and kneel, lawyer.
No. I won't.
So your head may be parted from your shoulders.
Huh? But the trial's not even over. What the fuck? You have 1 powers.
How soon, you forget. You are already on the headman's scaffold. As such, I could order your beheading at any moment.
All I did was request a DNA test.
There is no need to request such a test. Real God, bring it forth now.
Here you are, your eminence.
The police have already identified the source of the blood stain. The DNA test revealed that the blood is of the traitor Dirk Saltmadi.
What? But Dirk wasn't injured, so where did his blood come from?
Maybe he coughed it up.
Dirk's illness. Still, there's a lot of blood. Could he have really coughed up that much? And did he wipe it up to hide his failing health? Dirk, is it really that bad?
Oh, shoot. You got me.
Mysterious bloodstain updated in the court record. A bloodstain from Mars 2 analysis reveals that it's Dirk's blood. Pay attention, Horn Devil, for this case has already been solved. You claim that this bloodstain would lead us to the real killer, did you not?
About that?
Did you or did you not make that claim of your own volition, Defense?
Yes, I did.
After she steered you in that direction, that is.
I fell right into a trap.
Do you see now the folly in your opposing the very embodiment of the law? Whatever you say or do shall come to no avail. A third party at the scene of the crime? It's beyond the realm of possibility.
No!
Praise be for Kringaran! Her Eminence's legal tactics are beyond compare! I hate to say this, but she really got us good. The key to Amara's sarcophagus is under the protection of the royal family. My husband and I are the only ones who could open it. Therefore, it would be impossible for some knave to open it.
Can I really discount the sarcophagus as a hiding place, though? What if the real killer is still in there? No, that's just ridiculous.
I believe we have rebels and sympathizers in the gallery today. It is to you I speak. Have you been listening? Dirk Sadmani, the one who proclaimed the bloodless revolt, has betrayed your cause by resorting to murder. No, it can't be! Dirk would never! There must be some kind of mistake.
The Defiant Dragons and their sympathizers are starting to have doubts.
So, this is why Goran allowed us to cross-examine Dirk. By establishing his guilt in Inga's murder, she's effectively damaged his reputation among those who support him.
True, but now we have an even bigger problem.
And now, filthy lawyers, you will honor your end of the bargain. Accept your guilty verdict for your failure to explain your client's actions.
Ah!
Now, I shall pass judgment upon the criminal Dirk Sadmati.
What's this? You shall pass judgment? But, Your Eminence, is that not my will?
Hold your tongue. You are but a figurehead before me, the embodiment of law. Consider yourself dismissed.
No. I'm the fucking judge, bitch.
As Queen of Krain, I shall now pass judgment upon the accused. Guilty.
What the fuck? You can't just do that.
Objection!
Wait. You didn't even give me a chance to rebut.
You know when you are a defeated lawyer. But just this once, I am willing to show you the depths of my compassion. Tell me why I should allow these proceedings to continue. Come, convince me.
Quick, Apollo. Even if you have to bluff, we've got to keep the trial going. Show her that the crime could have been committed by a third party. How am I supposed to do that?
Why don't you start with,
How about the timing of Inga's murder? What? This whole case is built on a single premise.
that Inga was murdered after Dirk entered the tomb.
But what if that's not true? Like, if our assumptions are all wrong? It just might work. Well, don't keep us waiting, defense. Dirk became the prime suspect. Because it didn't seem probable that there was a third party at the scene of the crime. But there is another question we should ask ourselves at this time. Was Minister Inga really killed after Dirk entered the tomb?
What nonsense is this?
Setting aside the assumption that the murder occurred after Dirk arrives on the scene, wrong button, opens up the possibility of a third party committing the crime. The question before us is, when was Minister Inga really killed? Before Dirk entered the tomb. Isn't it possible that before Dirk even set foot in the tomb, Minister Inga was already dead? That would certainly make the possibility of a third party more probable. Why, of course. I fell unconscious right after I entered the tomb. Even if I hadn't, I wouldn't have had a clear line of sight to his body from the entrance. Which means you wouldn't have noticed his body either way. This scenario is entirely possible. And so we can't rule out the possibility of a third person committing the crime. I see. Well, that certainly does make sense. So far, so good. This might actually work.
Very well. I shall play along with whatever little game you have knocking around in that tiny mind. I was starting to get quite bored of all this. I could do with a distraction.
Yes!
Let us hear some testimony that will shed light on when exactly the minister was slain. Bailiff, summon Rafa. Surely she has recovered by now.
But what about me? Don't I serve a purpose anymore?
No, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man.
I hope you are feeling better, Your Benevolence.
Must I perform the divination seance?
What? Oh, no, we merely require testimony this time.
How could my testimony be of any value?
Your Benevolence.
Princess Rafa seems awfully depressed. After what she's been through, summoning her again is like rubbing salt on the wound. Being unable to perform the seance was probably the last straw.
I hope she doesn't pass out again.
Prosecutor Sadmati, may I ask you something?
Of course, Your Benevolence.
I've been meaning to ask you this since yesterday. Did you know about Queen Amara? And about me?
From where did you hear such a thing?
From Mother. And only yesterday.
Rafa was carrying on about telling the truth to the people.
So I told her. I told her what the truth really was. For it is up to a mother to discipline her child.
I see.
Be as Be as it may, your benevolence, it has no bearing upon our trial here today. So there is no need to let it trouble you. I know. Garon told Rafa about something other than Amara's status.
Sounds like it, but what could it be?
Rafa, the defense has proposed something preposterous. They somehow think your father was already dead when Dirk entered the tomb. But I believe you can prove them wrong. Are you prepared to do what is required of you? Yes, I am ready to testify.
Very well then, your benevolence. Your testimony, if you please.
Actually, cross-examining her. Are we? What Rafa witnessed. On the day of the murder, I was gazing upon the courtyard from my second-floor veranda. Around 2:30 p.m., I saw my father heading for Amara's tomb. Then, at about 2:45, I saw Barbed and company enter the courtyard. I saw no one go in or out of the tomb after my father entered at about 2:30.
Your second floor veranda. Oh, she must be talking about that house facing Inga's private residence. So that's the location from which you saw your father, and at about 2:30.
Yes, and shortly after that, you people arrived at the royal residence.
So, after the minister entered Amara's tomb at around 2:30, no one went in or out of there until the murder was discovered.
The tomb is closed to outsiders, so no one could have snuck in before the murder. That rules out any possibility of a third party lying in wait to slay my poor husband.
Or so she'd like us to believe.
Now hear me, you useless lawyer. Cease this charade and bow before me. For I, Queen Garan, shall finally have your head.
Forgive me, Your Eminence, but first let us allow the defense to question the witness.
Thank you, Your Honor, for being reasonable. What Rafa witnessed. On the day of the murder, I was gazing upon the courtyard from my second-floor veranda.
Hold it!
You say you'd been watching the courtyard until we arrived, correct? That seems like an awfully long time.
There is much that weighs on my mind.
I see. She really does sound troubled.
I don't think she ever fully recovered from the previous trial. Your benevolence. As Crown Princess, you are destined to rule this kingdom one day. That means there will be many things that you alone must determine. Things like how to keep your people happy, and what is true and what is false. And most importantly, what role you must play therein. I wonder if I am even up to the task.
I guess it's not easy being a princess. Your benevolence. I'd be happy to lend an ear if you'd ever like to talk.
What would you know of my woes? You're not presumed to exceed your station in life.
Sheesh. Teenagers. Your benevolence, what did you witness from your veranda?
Well, around 2:30 p.m. I saw my father heading for Amar's tomb.
Hold it!
Did your father seem different or troubled in any way?
Let me think. Oh, there was one unusual thing.
There was?
Yes, a shriek emanated from within my father's quarters. After which I witnessed him bolt outside, his countenance drained of its usual color.
He screamed and he was looking pale. What do you suppose happened?
I know not. Perhaps he had a bad dream.
Maybe it was a nightmare about being raked over the coals by the Queen.
It seems our young lawyer here wishes to hasten his journey to the Twilight Realm.
Sorry, that was rude of me. Does the defense believe the witness's last statement to be important? I believe it is. I would like the witness to add it to her testimony.
My father let out a scream and came dashing out of his room, his face pale.
Hold it!
And why do you think he screamed? Was he surprised by someone who didn't belong there? Did anyone else come? Come out.
I didn't see anyone else. Just my father.
That last statement was seriously lacking in conviction. Should I press her on this? Softly, I guess. Your benevolence.
Yes?
This incident was a real shock to us all. It must have been really terrible for you, but I want to let you know I know how you feel.
But please, stop. You presume too much.
It's times like these when you need something to take your mind off things. How about we all go on a picnic together or something?
Apollo, that's not what he meant by press softly, Apollo. I need no sympathy from you. Go on your little picnic alone, Hornhead.
Well, that didn't go well.
Apollo,
you have to take a more aggressive approach with people like her. Yeah, he's probably right. I'll press the rest of the stuff first.
now, back to my testimony. Then, at about 2:45, I saw Barbed Head and company enter the courtyard.
Hold it!
2:45. Yes, I believe that's around when we arrived. Mr. Wright, Athena, Dirk, and I were running toward the tomb.
Yes, I was taken aback as we don't normally see commoners in the palace courtyard. Even more shocking was that Dirk, a wanted man, was with you.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I thought the villainous leader of the Defiant Dragons was here with his minions. Because it was, time for a revolution.
I think you've been watching too much of that TV show.
I have already banned its broadcast for containing content unsuitable for our kingdom. Besides, the actress playing Rafa looked nothing like her. I can't have my subjects feeling so disappointed when they see the real Rafa. Mother! Why are you so cruel to me? Are you so ashamed? Once I am all grown up, I shall be just as full-figured as that actress.
She's placing all her hopes on one final growth spurt. I mean, she's only 14. I think she would have another growth spurt. I think she's lost some growing. For her sake, I hope it's in her DNA.
I suppose you could always hope for a miracle. I'll show you. I shall double my milk intake and grow up big and strong.
There, your benevolence. I think you're fine just the way you are. Now, may I ask that you continue with your testimony?
I wish I could grow up faster. I saw no one go in or out of the tomb after my father entered at about 2:30.
Hold it!
Is it possible you miss seeing someone pass through?
No, my veranda has a commanding view of the entire grounds, and I saw no one else.
But that doesn't seem right somehow.
Do not underestimate my daughter. She may be lacking elsewhere, but her eyes are the finest. Lacking elsewhere?
Talk about a mother I'd never wish on my worst enemy.
She needs Nana now more than ever. Her father let out a scream and ran outside all pale-faced. That sounds pretty serious.
What do you suppose happened in his private quarters?
I'm gonna press this again. Do 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 do.
Your benevolence. Let's have some details. The more, the better.
I guess I'll save. I didn't mean to press that, but I guess I'll save. The details, you say?
Yes. For example, are you sure you didn't see anyone in the royal residence before 2:30? Well, is that a yes or a no?
Eek! Foreign devil! I'd been gazing upon the courtyard since about 2 yesterday, yet I saw none other than my father. Oh, if only I had stopped him then.
I think you've struck a nerve, or rather obliterated one. Maybe I pressed a little too hard. Still, that last statement seemed a little off somehow. So, you didn't see anyone except your father in the courtyard after 2 p.m., huh? Please add that to your testimony, your benevolence.
I had been gazing upon the courtyard since about 2, but father was the only one I saw.
Hold it!
Is the royal residence always so empty?
Naturally, it is where the royal family lives, and we are few in number. Besides Nina and the little birds who visit, I have no one else to talk to.
You don't have, like, staff? Servants? Is there anything more stereotypically princessy than talking to birds? So, Nina wasn't around at all yesterday?
It seems she was quite busy. I was all alone the entire day. It's been like that a lot lately.
Rafa doesn't go to school, so she probably doesn't have any close friends. She must lead a rather solitary life. I guess being a princess isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Rafa, I shall buy you a new servant. I don't want you to buy me a servant like some sort of pet. I want Nina.
I'm beginning to see why Rafa turned out like she did. Your benevolence, please tell us about what happened after you saw your father.
Well, it was around 2:30 when I saw him heading for the tomb.
Yeah, alright. Where's...
I thought we had something with... No, not you. Oh yeah, Albie.
Objection!
I thought we had her hat.
Your benevolence? You're covering for someone, aren't you?
Huh? I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, Rafa, but you're not gonna like this. Well, the thing is, I have a statement here that you might find interesting. It's from a witness who claims that around 2 p.m. his dog got loose and ran into the palace courtyard. That's when the little fellow stole this hat from someone.
Ah, that's Nana's. I mean, nothing. Never mind. You fool of a daughter. It seems the princess made a blunder.
So let me get this straight. This is Nana's hat, which means she had to have been in the royal residence at around 2. If so, then you had to have seen Nana sometime after 2 p.m. yesterday.
No!
Please, Your Benevolence, tell us what you really saw.
It is as you say, Hornhead. I saw Nina, and I saw that dingbat dog steal her hat from her in front of my father's residence.
I knew it. Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Because, my mother told me not to.
What? Would you care to explain, Your Eminence?
I requested she withhold said information, for it is of no relevance to this case.
Objection!
You don't get to decide.
If you disagree, then prove that it is relevant to the case at hand.
Oh, I will. Your Benevolence, please tell us everything you witnessed when you saw Nana.
Alright. When I saw that dingbat dog attack Nina, I ran to help. I raced from my second floor veranda down into the courtyard.
Wait, that means that while you were coming down, you took your eyes off the courtyard.
Yes, but only for a moment.
This is crucial testimony. If you took your eyes off the courtyard, it means somebody else could have entered the tomb without you ever knowing.
Ah!
Your Benevolence, are you sure no one else was there?
Yes.
She's hiding something again. What about Nina? Were you able to help her?
When I got down to the courtyard, Nina was... she was gone.
Gone?
Yes, and I never saw her again after that.
Any idea what happened?
That dingbat dog must have gobbled her up.
That's not how that works. I seriously doubt that. But how could Nina simply disappear while Rafa wasn't looking? Rafa must know something. The only question is, what? Do you have any idea where Nana disappeared to?
What do you mean?
Well, during the time you took your eyes off the courtyard, someone could have headed into the tomb. And it just so happens that Nana disappeared right at that moment.
No!
Wait, you think Nana had something to do with the murder? I don't think we can rule it out. It sounds like something had kept Nana occupied since early morning. Plus, she was seen right before the murder, and then seemed to vanish into thin air. You're right. And since she's Rafa's attendant, she could come and go as she pleased within the palace grounds. Could Rafa's attendant really be the killer? But that would mean...
First my father, and now Nina? These were the people I trusted most. How could this be?
Objection!
Do not heed their lies. Lawyers are a foul breed, quick to claim that a third party is to blame for a crime. Nana did not enter the tomb, that much is certain.
How can you be so sure?
When Nana's hat was stolen, that crazed curse spilled an urn full of water upon my husband's doorstep. Is that not right, Rafa? Yes, it is. While that dingbat dog was tugging on Nana's hat, it tipped over the urn. The bottoms of her shoes would have been soaked with water. Did we find shoes? Are there shoes in the court record? There are no shoes in the court record. And if she had truly headed into the tomb with wet shoes, she would have left shoe prints along the way. But the only shoe prints to be found belong to my husband, Inga.
Huh? Then...
That's right, Nana never did go into the tomb that day. Instead, she entered my husband's private quarters.
How do you know?
It's quite simple. Shoe prints were discovered in Inga's private quarters. Shoe prints that belonged to Nana.
That's right. Edgeworth and I did see some shoe prints in there.
Now do you understand? Nana could not possibly have gone into the tomb. And that supposed third person at the crime scene is but a figment of your imagination.
Ugh.
Another glorious deduction! All hail the genius that is Her Eminence Queen Garan! Bow down before her gory, witless lawyer!
Hara!
Garan!
Could those guys fanboy any harder? But is it really true? Did Nana not go into the tomb? Excuse me, but... Mr. Wright? Your benevolence, what time was it when that dog attacked Nana?
I believe it was around 2:15 p.m.
I see. Apollo, if Nana entered Inga's private quarters at around 2:15, and Inga came racing out at around 2:30, pale-faced and screaming, then... Ugh, I know what you're getting at. Yes, that might explain his scream. Would the defense please share their theory regarding Justice Minister Inga's scream? Certainly, Your Majesty. Minister Inga screamed because...
Well...
You know what? I'm gonna take my break here, because I don't fucking know. I'd assume he was attacked. My assumption is he was attacked by Nana, but I digress. I'm gonna take my break now, because we've been playing for a bit. And yeah. See y'all in a bit. Okay, we're back. Maybe he was attacked by Nina. This would make the Justice Minister's private quarters the real scene of the crime.
Objection!
Does your idiocy know no bounds? The minister's body was found in the tomb. Or are you suggesting that the body was moved?
Do I think the minister was moved from his private quarters? I think the possibility... Considering the fact that the body was found in the tomb, I'd say there is a possibility.
What utter nonsense. Rafa had been watching the courtyard. Yet you would suggest that someone could have transported the body unnoticed?
You have a point there. In that case, I'd say there's no way that the body was moved. After all, there was an awful lot of blood in the tomb. I understand if the scream was in a reaction to Nana's attack, but Inga died in the tomb. We need to explain how those two realities could coincide. How are we supposed to do that? Oh, maybe where he was stabbed and where he died are two completely different locations.
What do you mean?
It's just... Let's look at this as simply a possible... let's look at this as simply as possible. Okay. Weird phrasing. Technically, grammatically correct, but weird phrasing. If the minister's body wasn't moved,
He might have been stabbed by Nina in his private quarters. But then died in the tomb. I see. On the one hand, that seems plausible, but on the other, it seems decidedly implausible.
Falco, why you gotta... Why'd you wait to drink water until, like, the moment I start recording? Literally, this dog. I love you. I love you, dog. Crazy ass.
Prosecutor Sadmati, what is that fool babbling on about now? Is this a riddle from one of those fortune cookies Americans seem so fond of? Perhaps, but I believe he himself does not know what he means to say. In all likelihood, it was a poor attempt to confuse us. We should simply ignore him.
Objection!
I wasn't finished yet, so hold off on the analysis, would you? The autopsy report never stated that the minister's death was instantaneous. So we could have conceivably moved from one place to another after being stabbed. Oh my, are you suggesting he ran all the way to the tomb with a knife sticking out of his back? I fucking guess so. Well, yes, that's the gist of it.
In short, Minister Inga saw Nina with a knife, let out a scream, and when he turned his back to her to flee.
Right, and that's when he was stabbed from behind. Well, your majesty, does my theory hold water?
Such insolence!
How dare you bore me like this?
Huh?
You are a humorless moron, spewing an endless stream of unamusing drivel.
I wasn't trying to be funny, Your Eminence.
Prosecutor, enlighten this ignorant cloud in lawyer's clothing. Your Eminence?
Oh fuck, not again! Nayuda.
You dull, slow-witted, putrid-minded lawyer. Perhaps you would be too stupid to notice you had been stabbed in the back. But a normal person would have noticed due to the excruciating pain.
Now hold on.
Allow me to teach you the meaning of pain.
Please stop.
Maeda has a point. Normally most people would notice a dagger in their back.
Ow. Yeah, I doubt someone can ignore pain like this.
Still, in this case, it's the word normally that we should emphasize. Apollo, take another look at the court record.
Right. There must be something that explains this. There's a reason Inga didn't feel any pain. And the defense will submit evidence proving just that.
Very well. Please present your evidence. Why didn't Justice Minister Inga notice that he had been stabbed? Where is it?
Take that!
Ah! Those are my father's painkiller shots. The defense will explain the significance of this evidence.
Minister Inga suffered from terrible back pain, so he often injected himself with these. We're told that one shot in the back would make all his pain go away. With this, it's easy to explain what happened. Don't tell me you didn't know about these, Your Eminence.
You can't mean...
Minister Inga was stabbed in his back, close to where he usually injected the painkiller. Therefore, it's entirely possible that he hadn't noticed that he'd been stabbed.
What?
What's this? Then... Are you suggesting Justice Minister Inga really ran off with a knife protruding from his back?
I am, your majesty.
So then, when I saw my father, he had a knife sticking out of him. I mean, with that cape of his, I couldn't see his back very well.
Yes, the knife was there. It was just plunged in so deep you didn't notice it under the cape. Therefore, when you saw your father, he was already dead. Murdered by Nena in his private quarters.
Pakunga!
The Holy Mother of Crying! Are we dealing with the living dead here? Well, technically, he wasn't dead yet.
I know it's hard to believe, but this is a plausible sequence of events. And once Minister Inga arrived at the tomb, he could have removed the knife and dropped dead from blood loss.
Nena killed my father. There must be some mistake.
The defense would like to call Nena to the stand.
You seek to drag an innocent old woman to the stand with no proof whatsoever?
Well, there's no real proof, but,
What a tangled web of expedient lies you weave.
Sorry. Excuse me. My bad.
I can no longer tell fact from fiction. Who or what shall I believe in now?
I'm sorry, Rafa. All I've done is confuse you. But I have a sneaking suspicion Nena's involved in this case one way or another.
Just when I thought we'd blown this case wide open.
Well, there's no turning back now.
You fool of a lawyer. I know why you are so desperate to prove the accused innocent.
You do?
Yes, because he faces public execution if proven guilty. As shall you under the stipulations of the Defense Culpability Act. From the moment you accepted this case, you have had no choice but to fight for your lives.
No, the simple fact is I've always believed that Dirk is innocent.
Bah! Still you cling to your pretense. Very well. I shall offer you a bargain. If you would admit that the accused is guilty right here, right now, I shall overlook your crime of abetting him, and you will not be subject to execution.
Is this some sort of joke?
Far from it. As queen, I have the power to grant pardons even to criminals like you. And with the wave of my hand, I can even reduce the severity of a sentence. Perhaps even for Dirk, should you be willing to cooperate.
She wasn't kidding when she said that she's the law here. But to flaunt that power in her faces like that, that's just wrong.
Forget all that has transpired in our kingdom, and return to your own country in peace. Well, will you abandon your defense of the accused and accept my generous offer?
If I don't take this deal, we'll be executed along with Dirk if he's found guilty. What should I do?
Fuck you.
Nice try, Garon. But it looks like you don't know what justice is made of. We won't kowtow to threats like that, Your Eminence.
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry, but I can't back down now. I don't want to drag you into this, so... Don't worry. I'm with you, Apollo. To the bitter end, if need be. And while I can't say I'm used to it, this isn't exactly my first rodeo. But if I'm found guilty, you'll get the death penalty too. Even knowing that, you still want to defend me? I don't know what happened in the past, but it looks like everyone in this country considers lawyers to be liars. So I can understand if you don't believe me. But I still believe in you and your innocence. So all I have to do is keep believing and find the truth. That's all there is to it. So keep on fighting, Apollo. You'll hear no objections from me. You nincompoops! You'll die if you lose this case! Why would you even entertain the notion of continuing? I believe that Dirk is innocent. That's why. And besides, trials exist to give the truth a chance to get out into the open. You can't give up just because you're afraid of some punishment. Even if that punishment is death? Does that not frighten you, Hornhead? Who wouldn't be scared? I mean, just thinking about it. It makes me weak in the knees, to be honest. But as a lawyer, I have a duty to protect my client. I can't just abandon that. A duty you're willing to die for? And yet, I... Duty. It's a heavy burden, alright. Arifa looks like she's really struggling. This again? My god, I'm not saying this again. I'm not saying this again. We've seen this so many times. Come on, video game. Please. I don't want to, I don't want to repeat this over and over and over. But it's no surprise, considering the torrent of painful truths she had to face. Very well then. If the defense is prepared to face the death sentence under the Defense Culpability Act, then I see no reason not to continue with the proceedings. But I must admit, I see no grounds for doubting the accused's guilt. Unless the defense has further evidence that would indicate a different suspect. Do we have anything like that? Well, lawyer, do you have any new evidence you would care to present? Or shall I have the executioner start his preparations? If she thinks I can't do this, she's got another thing coming. But first, I have some serious thinking to do. I'd say that new evidence is indicating a different suspect. Such evidence does not exist. Just as I thought. I was so hoping you'd present meaningless evidence and allow me to claim your head. Glad I didn't walk head first into that one, then. So, what now, Apollo? Well, unless we can prove that Nana killed Inga, this trial is over, and so are we. Isn't there still a way to get to the proof we need? Even without evidence? You know, a key means of obtaining testimony here in Kurain. Huh? Wait, are you actually suggesting? It certainly won't be easy, but it's worth a try.
Your Majesty, a crucial step in uncovering the truth behind this case has yet to be taken in this trial. But I'm positive that I can back up our claim with this one step.
You mean you will be able to prove that Neda killed Justice Minister Inga? And just how do you propose to do that?
With the help of a certain someone.
You need help.
From someone?
Well, I can't imagine who it could be. But I suppose I must ask. Whose help do you need to uncover the truth? Mario.
Take that!
But that is...
Me?
Here in Korean, legal proceedings include the viewing of the victim's final moments. But that requires your benevolence's help. Such information is just as vital as any other piece of conclusive evidence.
If you're right about this, Rafa's power should enable her to see the very moment Nena stabbed Inga.
It will be hard to watch your father's murder. But it's the only way to uncover the truth. Your benevolence. We need you and your power.
You need me?
Objection!
Wretched simpleton. Did you not see what ensued in the previous attempts? You would only succeed in wasting more time. Or is it your goal to make her collapse again?
Objection!
The princess said she was prepared earlier. Besides, it's her duty as royal priestess. I'd say it's all up to her now.
Am I prepared? Prepared to fulfill my duty?
Isn't a divination seance required at all trials anyway? If so, I imagine there'd be a problem with handing down a verdict without one. Indeed, it would be problematic. Under Chinese law, a seance must be conducted before a verdict can be rendered.
Such insolence!
Yikes!
Must you try my patience so? If I must dispense with that vexing law, then dispense with it I shall.
Huh?
As ruling sovereign of Krain, I proclaim the following.
Don't you have, like, paperwork that you have to fill out that takes... I don't think you can sign something with your fingernail, ma'am.
Henceforth, the divination seance shall be optional.
What? She has the power to do that? She just rewrote the law with a flourish of her hand.
Hold it! Mother, I do not wish for the trial to end like this. It is as the defense said, I must not neglect my duty simply because I am afraid. I shall go through with it this time. I will conduct the seance once more.
Such insolence!
Rafa, do not be fooled by his loyalty guile. You are not prepared to witness your father's death. But Hornhead needs my help. Rafa, did you not tell me earlier? Did you not tell me you were prepared? But despite your grandiose posturing, you collapsed in a most piteous fashion. Even worse, you have erred in your insights of late. For has not the barbed one out there overturned them more than once? Oh. You cannot be trusted to keep your word, nor can you reveal the truth through your insights. So I say to you, begone. This sacred hall of justice has no need for such a worthless royal priestess. Worthless?
Wow, how can she say that to her own daughter?
So, Mother, you think me worthless?
Objection!
Her benevolence says she can do it, doesn't she? So I don't see why you have to condemn her before she's even made the attempt.
Very well, Horn Devil. If you really are so bent on having a seance, I shall give my consent.
Really?
However, should Rafa fail once more, you two and the accused shall all be executed on the spot.
Come again?
This is proving to be far more entertaining than I had anticipated. Well, lawyer, what say you? Will you wager your life and call on Rafa to perform a divination seance?
I don't think you're worthless, your benevolence. Far from it, in fact. If you say you can do it, then I believe in you.
Hornhead, I do not understand. If I fail, you will be put to death.
I know you collapsed during your previous attempt. I can't even imagine how terrible it must have been for you. But despite that, you are willing to try again. I have faith in that conviction, in that courage.
My courage?
Ah, so she was doomed to fail if she didn't have the courage to perform the seance. But it looks like she's got the determination to try again.
Right. And that's a bet I'm willing to take.
But it is as Mother said, I've erred in my insights as of late. Not only have I failed to reveal the truth, I've also contributed to false accusations. Knowing that, can you still say that you believe in me?
Objection!
I wouldn't take stock in those words, your benevolence. Despite what your mother says, I don't think you've made any errors at all.
Huh?
In the trials I've been a part of here in Krain, I would have never proven my client's innocence without your seances. Because even though they didn't always reflect the absolute truth, the insight they provided served as vital leads to finding the truth.
Vital leads? My seances?
So, please, your benevolence, try to perform the divination seance one more time.
Objection!
Rafa, stop this madness. It is for your own good. You are ill-prepared to face your father's death. Go, leave the sacred hall at once. No. What did you say? I said no, Mother. For I am the royal priestess of Krain. I have no need for you now. Even if you do not need me, Mother. Hornhead in this Hall of Justice do. He proved that to me by risking his own life. It is because of him that I now understand. The divination seance is my sacred duty. I must fulfill it no matter the risk.
Your benevolence.
Mother taught me that the divination seance was a mirror reflecting naught but the truth. But I began to have my doubts after Barbed Head had disproved the insights it offered. And now, I don't even know who or what to trust anymore. Father, Mother, even Nina, I had believed in them above all others. But I finally know now. I know in what I can trust. The royal priestess must debate each seance with the presiding lawyer and prosecutor. So that it can be interpreted properly. That is how I believe trials here in Kurain should function. Therefore, the Hall of Justice needs me. It is my power that leads trials toward the truth. That is my sacred duty, and I will never shirk from it again.
That right there, Your Benevolence, is the product of what you've learned in your struggles so far. The truth that you realize with your own strength.
As my sacred duty, I must ensure that it is fulfilled. I must have the courage and resolve to see it through.
Your Eminence, the Royal Priestess says she will conduct a divination seance. I see no grounds for you to forbid it. Unless, of course, you are worried that it might reveal something you find inconvenient.
Mother, I am done letting you have your way. Rafa, you would actually rebel against me, your mother and queen. Though I am scared to see my father's death. I must face my fear. That is what Hornhead has taught me here today.
Rafa.
I am the royal priestess, Rafa Padma Kurain,
Your voice is too damn deep for a 14-year-old.
and I am prepared to face my father's death.
Yippee!
Your Eminence, it seems the princess is more grown up than you thought.
Rafa,
Well then, let us proceed with the divination seance. The victim's final moments. They should be interesting. I wonder what Inga's memories are going to show us.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
We're gonna get the dance? Yep, we're gonna get the dance. Alright. We ball. Finally, the divination seance. Incense, grapes, sour. Incense. Footsteps. Man's voice. Pain. Footsteps. Hi there. Explosion. Laughter. What in the... faceless being. What the heck? His face, it's just like that picture of the founder. I think that's the last thing anyone expected to see. Oh, Father, what was it? What was it you saw? Are we to understand that this was the last thing the victim saw? Yes, there can be no mistake. That was what my father himself witnessed. How very strange. You don't suppose the Holy Mother possessed the accused and slew Minister Inga for planning a coup? The divine wrath of the Holy Mother? Oh, Holy Mother, we are ever grateful for your blessings. Talk about a sharp left turn into the Twilight Zone. You know, there's one thing in there that caught my attention. That laugh. Who does it belong to and why are they laughing? Who knows? Though I suppose it could be dark after you slew my husband. Uh-huh. But that figure didn't even have a mouth. I think we're done here, lawyer. How so? You claim that Minister Ingo was stabbed in his private quarters. And feeling no pain went to the tomb where he eventually fell dead. But this seance vision proves he was stabbed in the tomb, and felt great pain, no less. Oh, that. Therefore, I am, as I asserted all along, it was the accused who stabbed the minister in the tomb. Ah, everything just backfired. Big time. Wow. Ron has the devil's own luck, doesn't she? Now then, I shall give voice to the soul of the deceased. Listen well and heed these words. Insight. Rafa's insight.
At around 3 p.m., my father was waiting in the tomb to make the hostage exchange. He was drinking grape juice while gazing upon the picture of the Holy Mother. He had been waiting vigilantly when suddenly he heard Dirk's voice. The next moment, he was stabbed in the back and collapsed. My father tried to shoot his attacker, but he missed and the attacker let out a laugh.
So what now, Mr. Wright?
It's up to
Us to knock holes in Rafa's interpretations of Inga's memories. In other words, we need to prove that her understanding of them could be mistaken.
Okay, let's give it a try.
Actually, no. Because I feel like he would turn. Yeah. He would turn around if it was Dirk's voice.
Objection!
Your benevolence, there seems to be an inconsistency in your interpretation.
An inconsistency? Where?
Minister Inga is far too relaxed for what was supposedly about to take place. When he heard the voice you claim is Dirk's, he didn't seem the least bit alarmed. He just kept looking at the picture of the founder.
Ah!
That's strange, right? He was waiting for Dirk to arrive with the founder's orb. But when he heard that voice, he didn't even turn to look. Don't you think he would have been worried about being attacked from behind?
Ah! Then whose voice was it?
It was likely someone whose presence wouldn't have alarmed him. Someone like a friend.
Objection!
But there was no third party at the scene of the crime. Therefore, the voice can only have belonged to Dirk.
The voice of a third party who wasn't there in the tomb.
Apollo, don't we have something that could reveal the owner of the mysterious voice, of the mystery voice?
No, I think we do. Something that Inga had while he was waiting for Dirk. With it, we just might be able to figure out whose voice it was. I believe we can identify the male voice Minister Inga heard with this.
And he had his phone there. All save, we ball.
We don't have his phone.
That's my father's.
I know this must be hard for you, but could you please take a look at this photo? There's something here that can point us toward the identity of the voice. This is the real source of the man's voice.
Take that!
A cell phone?
Right. I believe that the voice the minister heard was of a call on this cell phone.
I see. Well, that certainly makes sense. What is your eminence's view on the matter?
I concede the possibility. Then it seems I must refine my vision. It appeared that the voice belonged to one of my father's subordinates.
Why do you suppose he was talking to one of them then?
My father had members of the secret police positioned throughout the palace. They were supposed to contact him as soon as they saw Dirk and the rest of you.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Your benevolence, I believe you have an insight to revise.
I know, Barbhead. Don't presume to tell me how to do my duty.
My father then took a call from a subordinate at the palace.
My father then took a call from a subordinate at the palace.
So the voice was coming from the phone. That's good to know. But there might have been other sounds coming from the phone. Sounds that could be clues. Let's take another look at Rafa's insights and really focus on the various sensations. Okay. I think I'm getting the hang of this now.
Objection!
I hate to break it to you, your benevolence, but you misinterpreted something again.
What do you mean? Again?
Smooth move, Apollo. I think you just hurt her feelings. She may put on a brave face, but she feels more than she lets on. Let me rephrase that, your benevolence. Your interpretation of your father's phone call to a subordinate at the palace is inconsistent with his final memory.
What do you mean by that?
A lion's roar could be heard over the phone. Don't you find that strange? You claim the call was with someone at the palace. But let me ask you, do you keep lions there?
No. The only animals at the palace are little birdies and my pet frog.
You have a pet frog? Wait, that giant one in front of the minister's house is a pet?
Besides, there aren't any lions in Kurain. We don't even have any zoos. A rather sad state of affairs, I'm afraid.
Fly. Again? Gordon, go. Drink your water. Go. Do it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go drink your water. Oh. Now she wants me to pet her. Okay. Well, I remember hearing a sound like that. The lion's roar coming from the phone is actually from something hanging out in... Isn't that the cry of the warbot over in the bazaar?
Ah!
Your benevolence, do you think you can clarify the voice for me?
Very well. I will now attempt to further refine my vision.
Warbot's cry.
What's this?
Just as I suspected. It was the call of a warbot. That means the subordinate Minister Inga was talking to was in the bazaar, not the palace.
But why is it important where the call came from? What significance could it have?
She's right. Is it important to know where the call was made from? Very important. It's actually very important. Knowing that the person on the other end was at the bazaar means that the loud explosion might not have been the sound of a gunshot.
But I can think of no other item that makes such a noise in the area.
Go ahead, Apollo. Tell her. Tell Rafa the real source of that sound. Will do.
Well, Hornhead, I'm waiting. What was the true source of that explosive sound?
Is it, no? It's not this. Oh, a firecracker, okay. Yeah, I don't think anything else I have can be. Alright, Albie.
What is that?
It's Albie your guide statement. In it, he claims that Dad's Arbol threw a firecracker at him while he was at the bazaar.
Then...
Yes, the sound heard over the phone was a firecracker exploding.
Ah!
Objection!
And yet, a bullet was found at the scene of the crime. A bullet fired from Minister Inca's gun. How do you explain that?
Well, we don't know whether it was fired during the course of the crime, right? Or do you have evidence that proves when the pistol was discharged?
No, I have none. Wait a second. If that loud bang was a firecracker, then could that laugh at the end have been... No, it can't be.
Oh, it can. And it is. The laugh came from none other than the Joker who got a kick out of startling Albie with his dragon snot snaps. That happy-go-lucky Dad's Arbol.
Oh my god. What? Someone should really put a leash on that guy.
I shudder to think how one man can be the cause of so much trouble. Hey there, AJ, PW, y'all can thank me later. No one asked for your commentary, Mr. Arabal. Your benevolence, do you need to revise your insight?
It would appear so. My father then took a call from a subordinate at the bazaar. The true source of that loud bang was the firecracker Dad threw. And that final laugh belonged to none other than Bats himself.
Well, this changes everything. Let's go over the details of Rafa's insight again. Okay. I think I've got this down now. Time to find another inconsistency. Hostage exchange. The car was running at the bazaar. The next moment he was stabbed in the back and collapsed. True sense of that explosion.
Objection!
Your benevolence. There's a glaring problem with this insight.
There is?
You state that the murder happened at around 3 p.m., which was right around the time my client arrived on the scene. However, now that we know what the source of the loud bang is, your insight conflicts with a certain piece of evidence. I suppose I have to ask the obvious here. What evidence conflicts with the claim that the murder occurred at 3 p.m.? Matter press present, not details. I'll be your guide's statement again. Yes, because to summarize what he said, at around 2 p.m., Shadow was surprised by a firecracker and ran into the palace courtyard. Around 2 p.m.? That's right, 2 p.m. Not 3 p.m.
Ah! Are you suggesting?
I think you know where I'm going with this. That's his laugh, the cry of the war bod, and the bang of the firecracker were all heard right before Minister Inga's death. Thanks to Albie's statements, we can put a definitive timestamp on all of these sounds. Therefore, what this vision shows is that it's extremely likely that the deceased's final moments were at 2 rather than 3 as we all had originally thought.
Dare I ask?
It means the murder took place a full hour before Dirk entered the tomb.
Palkunga!
How can this be?
Are you saying that I, the very personification of the law, have been mistaken?
Ow! Now you see why justice will always prevail. Peace, peace, I say. Now then, defense. I must remind you that the figure of the accused was clearly shown in the vision. How do you explain that? I wouldn't say it was clearly shown. After all, the figure didn't actually have a face. Ah, you are absolutely right. Without a face, we can't be certain of who it was. Furthermore, need I remind you that if the vision is from 2 p.m., Dirk was still with me and Mr. Wright, which means that this faceless figure couldn't possibly be him. So then, what are we to make of this 1 hour difference?
Wait, 2 o'clock? That's when... my mother was performing the rite of channeling.
The palace guards had all been reassigned to guard the channeling chamber for the rite. Don't tell me.
The royal residence. It would have been virtually unguarded.
That seems like a very large oversight, guys. Which means the real killer could have easily slipped unseen into Amara's tomb. Defense, are you saying that this is someone disguised as the accused? That's exactly what I believe, Your Majesty.
Objection.
Preposterous. Disguises cannot deceive the memories of the dead. That the face did not appear this time as mere happenstance. Had it appeared, such subterfuge would have been as clear as day. He's got a point there. Anyone who knows about the divination seance would have tried to hide their face. Nevertheless, our killer openly appeared before Inga. The question is why?
Apollo? Maybe the killer could afford to be so bold. Because they knew their face wouldn't show up in the seance's vision.
What? It's possible that the killer dared to dress in Dirk's clothes and stand square in front of Inga, precisely because they knew they could get away with it. But how could anyone be so sure of something like that? A long time ago, I heard of a cognitive disorder that impairs a person's ability to distinguish between different faces. What if Inga had it? Then, are you saying that this is literally how Inga saw the world? Yes, we can't normally see through the eyes of others, but in this case we can. And if he had that disorder, I imagine this is how faces appear to him in life. God damn, why do I keep doing that? Okay, let's say that the killer knew that Inga had such a disorder. They could definitely use it to pin the crime on Dirk. But if you're wondering about how to prove that Inga had it, you already have what you need. Really? Well, defense, do you have anything to show to this court? Yes, I believe so. Frankly, I have no idea what Mr. Wright means, but I'll look the evidence over again. What explains why the face of Minister Inga's killer is absent in his seance vision?
Take that!
Notepad. Yes, it was found in Minister Inga's room. And it holds the answer we're looking for. As you can see, it's filled with detailed notes on various individuals. What kind of clothes they wear, hairstyles, and other discerning physical characteristics. And this is connected to the faceless nature of the killer. How? The vision we saw was exactly what Minister Inga saw with his own eyes. It is he who saw his killer as a person without a face. In fact, that is how we normally saw everyone around him. What's this? I believe Minister Inga had a disorder that prevented him from recognizing faces. It would explain the faceless being, and why he needed a notepad full of people's physical characteristics.
Now that I think about it, my father was always terrible at remembering people. By simply changing my hairstyle, he would fail to recognize even me.
Oh, Your Eminence. You knew that your husband had such a disorder, didn't you?
He never wished for it to become public knowledge. But I suppose there is no use in keeping quiet about it now. It is as you say. My late husband had a special disorder that hindered his ability to recognize faces. The medical term for it is prosopagnosia.
So Mr. Wright was right.
The memories of those afflicted with such disorders in life do appear strange at times. There is precedence for this.
So, the killer likely knew about the disorder and used it to their advantage. Right, so there's someone who is both knowledgeable. There's someone who is both knowledgeable about the divination seance. And aware of Inga's affliction. Your Eminence. Who knew about your husband's condition?
A small number of servants who tended to his needs. And me. Surely you are not about to insinuate that I committed the crime?
Oh no, Your Eminence. Still, could she have done it?
Garon has an alibi, remember?
Oh, right. She was conducting the rite of channeling at 2 p.m. In that case... Your Eminence, does Nana know about Minister Inka's disorder?
Hold on. Of course she does. She is our head servant.
So as head servant, she knew about Minister Inga's condition. And as the princess's personal attendant, she is familiar with the divination seance. If these two facts together don't make her a possible suspect, I don't know what would.
Objection!
You witless lawyer. How quick you are to forget the facts.
Facts like...
When Inga was last seen alive. You claim he was slain at 2, yet that is impossible. For Riverside at 2:30. We did completely forget about that.
No, there must be some mistake.
So you see, the murder could only have happened at 3 p.m. The hour Dirk entered the tomb. There's no other answer to this puzzle.
Why don't we ever get to make up answers like Garon makes up laws?
Guess it's back to square one.
Where did we go wrong?
I don't think we're the problem. We just seem to be short one piece of the puzzle. Our deductions so far explain everything to a T. Everything except for Inga's sighting at 2:30.
I see. And without that final puzzle piece, all of our deductions fall apart.
Apollo, if Inga's sighting is the only anomaly, we'll just have to find a way to make it fit into the bigger picture.
Time to think outside the box then, right? Let's see. It would be impossible to see Inga walking around after he'd been killed. But what if there was a way to make people think he was alive, even though he was dead?
Hold on. Hold on. Ow. Okay.
Okay.
Like a way to make people witness the living dead.
The Walking Dead. Sounds like some kind of TV show. Stop acting like you know the way ahead, like you know the rules. There are no rules, man. We're lost. Things like that don't happen in real life.
Apollo, did you just...
I did. I figured it out. I know how to make people witness the living dead. The Walking Dead. Your Majesty, our deductions weren't wrong after all. Despite Minister Inga being murdered at 2 p.m., he was seen heading into the tomb at 2:30, and I'll tell you how.
I certainly hope you will. Because I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Minister Inga her benevolence saw was, in fact, it was the deceased being channeled. It's the only way a man who was already dead could have been seen by her benevolence. Channel, do you say? That's right. And there are only two people capable of spirit channeling here in Wright. Her Eminence Queen Garon and Maya Fey. It's possible that one of them was channeling the minister.
It would seem that you are ever bent on making me party to this crime. Prosecutor, what was I doing at 2:30 p.m.? The time of which my husband was seen. Eminence? I believe you had completed the channeling rite, and were having tea with the king of the neighboring realm. There would have been many attendants there, too.
Nayuda has to keep up with her schedule, too. What doesn't she make him do?
Then that leaves only Maya.
Yeah, it does. Maybe someone was forcing her to use her power toward nefarious ends. The real killer could have been threatening her.
That cannot be!
So then, Inga's scream. That was probably from when he woke up from being called back to this world. After all, that's when the flow of time would have picked back up for him after he died. So, Minister Inga probably leapt to his feet, thinking he just had a nightmare. Then, realizing it was almost time for the hostage exchange, he raced off to Amara's tomb, not even realizing he was already dead. Then, the benevolence really did see a dead man running.
I...
Okay, I can't scream like that right now. Using the sacred power of spirit channeling to commit a crime? How can this be? No, I've seen that happen multiple times, Your Honor. The defense calls Miss Maya Fey to the stand. Well, Your Eminence. Will you allow us a new witness?
It matters not. Either way, this lawyer shall soon know the truth. He will know that just how much of an imbecile he is in the face of my infallible arguments.
Insult me all you want, witch, but you'll be eating those words when I expose the truth. Very well, let us adjourn until the next witness is ready. Alright. That'll be the end of this part. To be continued. And we will cross-examine Maya Fey next time. If I had a nickel for every time Maya Fey was cross-examined by the quote-unquote main character of a trilogy at the end of the third game in a 3-part trial, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Anyways, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!